Level 1. The unknown. You are nobody. Not in a cruel way, just in a factual way. You walk down the street and nobody looks at you. You sit in coffee shops and nobody turns their head. You post on social media and your videos get 47 views, most of them from your mom and your cousin and a bot account from Indonesia. You have a full-time job that pays your rent. You have dreams that keep you awake at 2 a.m. You spend your lunch break scrolling through the feeds of people who figured it out. You study the ones who are doing what you want to do. They started where you started and somehow ended up somewhere else. You don't hate them. You study them. You reverse engineer their captions, their thumbnails, their hooks, their posting schedules. You convince yourself that if you could just crack the formula, you could do it too. You are 26 years old and you have been trying for 3 years. You have 840 followers on Instagram. You have 200 subscribers on YouTube. You have a TikTok account that goes nowhere. You have a Twitter account you abandoned after the third viral tweet ratio destroyed your week. Every night you post something. Every morning you check the numbers. Every morning the numbers break your heart a little. You tell your friends you're building something. They nod politely and change the subject. Your parents ask when you're going to focus on your real career. You don't have a good answer. You have a vision. A vision isn't a plan. A vision isn't a paycheck. A vision is just a story you tell yourself at night when the algorithm has punished you again. But you keep showing up. You keep posting. You keep refining your craft in a vacuum that doesn't care whether you exist. This is the foundation. Everyone who is famous was once anonymous. Everyone who has millions of followers once had 11. Nobody starts anywhere but here. The question is whether you have enough delusion, discipline, and luck to ever leave this level. Most people don't. Most people stay in level 1 for their entire lives. They post a few hundred times. They give up. They tell themselves it wasn't meant to be. They go get a real job. They become an audience member in someone else's story. That is the honest truth about fame. It begins with 100,000 people wanting it and ends with a few hundred achieving even the lowest rungs of it. You are one of those 100,000. You don't know yet which category you will end up in. Level 2. The micro creator. Something changed. A video hit. Not a big hit. A small hit. 40,000 views on a platform where you used to get 400. Your follower count jumped from 840 to 6,200 in a week. You refreshed the app every 30 seconds for 3 straight days. You couldn't sleep. Your brain was flooded with dopamine that your body didn't know how to process. You are now a micro creator. You have enough of an audience to matter to certain brands. You have fewer than 10,000 followers, but more than 1,000. You exist in the strangest zone of the internet. People recognize you in specific corners, in specific subcultures, in specific algorithmic bubbles. A stranger at a coffee shop sees your face and pauses. They don't say anything. They just look a second longer than normal. You can feel it. You pretend you can't. You start getting emails. Not many. A few. A tea company wants to send you free tea in exchange for a post. A fitness app wants you to promote their free trial. A shady dropshipping brand offers you $50 for a video. You say yes to most of them because $50 is $50, and you are still working your day job, and the tea is free. You learn about contracts. You learn about deliverables. You learn that brand emails will ghost you the moment you push back on any term. You learn that most of the offers are exploitative, and some of them are scams. Your day job is suffering. You are answering DMs during meetings. You are editing videos on your lunch break. You are filming content in your car before driving home. Your manager notices. Your coworkers notice. You don't care. You are chasing something they don't understand. You are chasing the feeling of that one video going viral. You want it again. You need it again. You tell yourself that one more viral hit and you can quit. One more. Just one. You replay the viral video in your head at night. You try to identify what worked. Was it the hook? Was it the thumbnail? Was it the time of day you posted? You cannot isolate the variable. The algorithm is a black box, and you are pounding on the outside of it. Level 3. The full-timer. You did it. You quit your job. You saved up 6 months of expenses. You sat your parents down and explained that this is what you were doing now. Your mother cried. Your father asked practical questions about health insurance. You answered most of them poorly. You told them you would figure it out. You told them you had to try. You are a full-time content creator now. This means you wake up and you have no boss. You also have no coworkers, no HR department, no paid time off, no 401k, no structure, no safety net. You are the CEO of a company with one employee who happens to also be the product being sold. Your schedule is chaos. You try to batch film. You try to plan your week. Life intervenes. A trend pops on a Tuesday and you need to jump on it that day or it's dead by Wednesday. You scrap your plans. You chase the moment. This is the job now, chasing moments. Your followers grow. You pass 50,000. You pass 100,000. You are in the low six figures of followers, and it means something, but not as much as you thought it would. The money is better than your old job, but not by as much as people assume. You grossed $90,000 last year. You paid $30,000 in taxes because you were self-employed and you didn't plan for quarterly estimates. You paid $8,000 for an editor because you couldn't keep up alone. You paid for gear, for software, for travel, for the coffee shop Wi-Fi bills that add up when you don't have an office. What's left feels smaller than it should. The loneliness is the part nobody warned you about. You spend your days talking to a camera. You spend your evenings editing footage of yourself. You consume your own face more than any person should. You start to not recognize it. You start to see yourself as a product, as a thumbnail, as a subject being optimized. Your friends from your old life have drifted. They don't understand what you do. They make jokes about it at parties. You laugh along. You start finding new friends, other creators, people who get it, people who speak the language. You meet them at conferences. You add them on Discord servers where creators trade tips about tax write-offs and agency horror stories. You start a group chat with 4 other people at your level. You text them about burnout at midnight. They text back within minutes because they are also awake. None of you are sleeping well. None of you admit it to your audiences. Level 4, the rising star. You crossed 1 million followers. You remember the exact day. You remember what you were wearing. You remember the screenshot you took and saved to a folder you will look at for the rest of your life. 1 million people chose to see your face in their feed. 1 million strangers made a small but conscious decision that you were worth their attention. You try to process what that means. You can't. The number is too big for the human brain to hold. Your income has changed dramatically. Brand deals are coming in at $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 per post. You have an agent now. You have a manager. You have a lawyer. You have an accountant who specializes in creators. You have a team that costs you 40% of your gross, but without them, you would drown. You are being invited places, launch parties, red carpets for events you didn't know existed, industry mixers in private rooms where everyone is pretending not to look at each other. You are on the edges of something larger. You are not inside yet, but you can see the door. You are dating differently. People you match with on apps recognize you before you even meet. They act different. Some of them are excited. Some of them are strategic. You start noticing the ones who are auditioning for a public role rather than a private one. You start noticing who films you during dates without asking. You become paranoid. You become guarded. You become careful about who you trust in ways that isolate you further. Your family is struggling to relate. You bought your mother a new car. You paid off your parents' credit cards. They are proud and uncomfortable in equal measure. The money is changing things in ways nobody talks about out loud. Your old friends feel smaller around you now, not because you changed, but because the context changed. The economics of every friendship have shifted, and everyone is pretending not to notice. You pick up the check at dinners now. You pick it up every single time. If you don't, there is a subtle tension that nobody will name. So you always do. And it costs you more than the money. It costs you the illusion of equal footing. Level 5, the name. You are famous now. Real fame. Not creator fame, not internet fame. Real fame. You are recognized in airports. You are recognized in grocery stores. You are recognized in countries where you do not speak the language. You are stopped for photos constantly. You learn the polite decline. You learn the efficient yes. You learn that a 15-second photo with a stranger is a transaction in the new economy of your life. You can give it or withhold it, but either answer has consequences. Your work has crossed over. Maybe you got a role in a movie. Maybe you signed a book deal. Maybe your music went mainstream. Maybe you launched a product line that exploded. The specifics don't matter. What matters is that you are no longer just a creator. You are a name. Your name means something in rooms you have never been in. Your name opens doors you didn't know existed. Your name closes doors too, because some people assume things about you before you speak. You hired security for the first time this year. Nothing dramatic happened. You just got a few messages that felt different from the usual noise. Your team insisted. You resisted. You gave in. Now there is a man in a dark polo standing near you at every public event. You don't know his family. You know he is there to take a bullet for you. The surreal weight of that knowledge never fully processes. You have money problems you never imagined having. Not the problem of too little, the problem of too much. What do you do with it? Where do you park it? Who do you trust to manage it? You read about athletes who went broke. You read about musicians who lost everything. You hire a wealth manager. You diversify. You buy real estate. You invest in startups that 3 friends recommended. You lose money on most of them. You learn expensive lessons about who to trust and how to say no. The parasocial dynamic is overwhelming now. People feel like they know you. They have watched you for years. They have cried with you, laughed with you, followed you through breakups and moves and losses. They love you. But they don't know you. They know a version of you that you have carefully curated. And when you disappoint that version, they turn on you with a ferocity that is hard to describe to anyone who hasn't experienced it. You had a bad week last month. You said something on a podcast that got clipped out of context. 30 million people saw the clip. Fewer than 1 million watched the full episode. The ratio tells you everything about how the internet actually works. Your publicist handled it. You apologized for something you didn't quite mean. You moved on before your followers did. Level 6. The brand. You are a brand now. Not in a metaphorical sense. In a legal sense. You have trademarks. You have an LLC. You have multiple LLCs stacked on top of each other for tax reasons. Your accountant explained those reasons 3 times before you gave up trying to understand. You have a logo. You have a merch line. You have a team of 14 people whose livelihoods depend on your continued relevance. Your face is on products. Your name is on billboards. Your voice is in commercials you had to read the script for 7 times because the director wanted a specific cadence. You are a one-person multimedia company. You wake up and you have meetings. Real meetings. With grown adults in suits who are discussing quarterly projections and market positioning and whether your demographic is pivoting toward a new platform. You nod along. You offer opinions when asked. You realize that you have become the CEO of a company that you never intended to start. You have employees to fire. You have contracts to review. You have lawyers drafting non-disclosure agreements for the people you hire to walk your dogs. Your creative work suffers. You are not creating anymore. You are approving. You are signing off. You are reviewing rough cuts that other people made based on your guidance. The thing that made people love you in the first place is harder to replicate now because you have less time to actually do it. Your audience feels the shift. Some of them accuse you of selling out. Some of them accuse you of being inauthentic. They are not entirely wrong. You are trying to run a business and maintain a personal connection with millions of strangers at the same time. One of those things inevitably starts to suffer. You go to therapy now, twice a week. Your therapist has a client list that would surprise you. She specializes in public figures. She charges $500 an hour. She is worth every penny. She is the only person in your life who is legally bound not to share what you tell her. Let that register for a moment. The only human being you can fully trust is someone you pay. You have an assistant who has been with you for 4 years. She knows your passwords. She knows your medications. She knows the names of people you have cut out of your life and why. Her NDA is 48 pages long. Your lawyer revises it every year. That is the shape of intimacy now. Paperwork as a prerequisite for closeness. Level 7. The celebrity. You are A-list. Or A-. Or B+, pretending to be A-list at certain parties. The rankings are invisible, but everyone inside knows them. You are photographed leaving restaurants. You are photographed carrying groceries. You are photographed in workout clothes on a beach you thought was private. The photographs end up on websites and in magazines. Strangers analyze your body, your outfit, your facial expression, the company you were keeping. Headlines are written about you based on a 12-second video clip taken from 80 yards away. You stop reading the headlines. You stop reading the comments. You stop reading anything about yourself because the only sustainable move is to not know. You have a publicist. She costs more than most people make in a year. She controls what information reaches the public. She decides which interviews you do. She decides which invitations you accept. She has crisis management protocols for scenarios you didn't know you could be involved in. She has relationships with editors at every major outlet. She can kill a story. She can plant a story. She does both on a regular basis, and you choose not to ask for details. Your dating life is almost impossible. Every person you go out with is a potential leak. Every dinner is a potential headline. You date other famous people because the math works out. They have as much to lose as you do. They understand the terms. The chemistry is complicated by the fact that every relationship becomes a brand merger. Public perception matters. The internet weighs in. Your fans pick sides before you even post a photo together. Your family dynamics have fractured in places. Your siblings ask for things. Your cousins ask for things. Distant relatives you haven't seen since childhood surface with business proposals and medical bills and urgent needs. You have a system now. Every ask goes through a specific email. Your assistant reviews it. Most requests get declined politely. You have learned that generosity without structure destroys you. The ones who get angry about being declined were never really family. You still send birthday cards. You still remember names. But you stopped confusing kindness with access years ago. You learned that the two things are not the same. You can be generous from a distance. You have to be, or the generosity will devour you from the inside. Level 8. The institution. You have been famous for 15 years. You are no longer the new hot thing. You are something more durable. You are a name that appears in textbooks about your industry. You are referenced by younger people who cite you as an influence on their own careers. You have shaped a generation of work that came after yours. Your early content is taught in classes. Your catchphrases have entered the language. You have received awards that you used to watch being given out on television when you were a kid. You sit on boards. You have honorary degrees from 3 universities. You give commencement speeches. You have a foundation that gives away 7 figures a year to causes you care about. You are establishment now. Some of your fans from the beginning resent this. They preferred you when you were scrappy, when you were dangerous, when you were making enemies and breaking rules. You still make the work, but the work has different stakes now. Every project is compared to your earlier work. Every release is evaluated against your own legend. The hardest competitor you face is a younger version of yourself that the public has frozen in amber. Your money is generational, not just yours anymore. Your children will never have to work. Your grandchildren will never have to work, unless they choose to. That knowledge changes how you parent. You try to raise kids who don't become monsters. You try to instill work ethic in humans who will never face real consequences. It doesn't always go well. Some of your peers' children have become tabloid figures. You study their mistakes. You try to do better. You aren't sure if you're succeeding. Your health is a factor now. You have a team of doctors. You have supplements that cost more than most families spend on groceries. You have a trainer, a nutritionist, a sleep coach, a physical therapist, a breathwork specialist. You are engineering your own longevity with resources that ordinary people cannot imagine. You feel guilty about it sometimes. You feel grateful about it sometimes. Mostly, you feel tired. You think about slowing down. You think about disappearing to a house in the country and writing a memoir nobody will read for decades. Your team discourages this. Your contracts discourage this. Your public role discourages this. You are a machine that is difficult to turn off without dismantling 20 people's careers. So you keep going. You pace yourself. You accept that retirement is a concept for other professions. Level 9. The icon. You are an icon. The word applies to you, and it doesn't embarrass you anymore. You have become bigger than your work. You are a symbol of an era, a movement, a cultural moment. People who have never consumed your content know who you are. Your face is recognizable to people who have never heard you speak. You are a visual shorthand for a set of ideas that the culture has collectively agreed upon. Museums have shown your work. Documentaries have been made about you. Biographers have pitched your life story to publishers. 2 unauthorized biographies have already been published. You tried to read them. You couldn't finish. Seeing your life narrated by strangers who weren't there is a specific kind of disorientation. They got details wrong. They also got details right that you wish they hadn't. The parasocial weight is immense at this level. People feel ownership over you. Strangers feel entitled to your time, your words, your opinions on every issue in the news cycle. Silence is interpreted as complicity. Speaking is interpreted as opportunism. There is no neutral position available to you. Every choice gets read as a statement. You have become an optical illusion. You are simultaneously more visible and more invisible than you have ever been. You appear everywhere. Billboards, magazine covers, social media feeds, television programs, news segments. But the actual you, the person underneath all that visibility, is more hidden than ever. You live behind gates. You travel in private vehicles. You enter venues through back entrances. You haven't walked into a public space as an ordinary person in 20 years. You can't remember what that feels like. You can't remember what anonymity tasted like. You try to describe it to your children, and you realize you are describing a country they have never visited. You worry about what that does to them. You worry about a lot of things at 3 a.m. You worry about your legacy being flattened into a single story. You worry about the version of you that will outlive you. You worry that the real you, the private you, was never visible to anyone at all. You wonder if that private self even exists anymore. You wonder if fame ate it slowly over 30 years without you noticing. Level 10. The myth. You outlived your era. You survived it all. The trends, the scandals, the comebacks, the counter-comebacks. You are old now. The culture has moved past you 3 times and circled back twice. You have become mythology. Children study you in school. Your voice is used in AI training datasets. Your image is licensed by your estate for projects you are not alive to approve. You are a ghost in your own legend. You sit in a house you bought 40 years ago. The house is quiet. Most of the people who made you famous are gone. Your manager died 5 years ago. Your first agent died before that. Your oldest friends are in assisted living facilities or buried in cemeteries you visit less than you should. The circle has narrowed. That is the honest truth about longevity. You outlast the witnesses. You wake up early. The sun still does not wait. You make coffee. You read the paper, the actual paper, because screens hurt your eyes now. You read about younger people doing things you used to do. You feel a small pang. You put it down. The pang fades. Fame lasts longer than the famous person. That is the deal you signed without reading. Your name will exist in archives after you are gone. Your face will be reposted by strangers forever. Your words will be quoted, misquoted, stripped from context, turned into memes, turned into merchandise, turned into prompts for technologies you cannot imagine. Somewhere, someone is writing their dissertation on your influence. Somewhere, someone is forging your signature on a photograph they will sell online. Somewhere, a young person is watching your old clips and trying to reverse engineer the formula. You know what they will find. Nothing. There was no formula. There was luck, timing, obsession, and enough pain to fuel a decade of refusing to stop. Your children visit on weekends. Your grandchildren tolerate the visits. They love you, but they are embarrassed by you in the specific way that only grandchildren of famous people are embarrassed. You try not to take it personally. You lose track of days sometimes. You misplace names. You remember 1987 with perfect clarity and forget what you had for breakfast. Your doctor says this is normal. You are not sure what normal means anymore. You think about the beginning. The version of you who had 840 followers. The version who checked the app every 30 seconds. The version who had a vision without a plan. You wish you could tell him something. You don't know what. The truth would not have stopped him. The truth would not have helped him. The vision was the point. The vision was the engine. Without the vision, none of this would have happened. The vision also cost him everything he didn't know he had. He gave up quiet mornings. He gave up small friendships. He gave up the right to walk into a room without being evaluated. You close your eyes. Somewhere, in a small apartment in a city you have never visited, a 19-year-old is filming themselves on a cracked phone. They are nervous. They are hopeful. They have 47 followers and a dream, and no idea what they are about to sign up for. They will not become you. Almost nobody becomes you. But they will try. They will try for years. They will pour themselves into an algorithm that does not care whether they live or die. And one of them, out of millions, will cross into the place you once lived. And they will learn, as you learned, that the thing they were chasing was never what they thought it was. The cycle continues.
वीडियोस बनाने हैं, फिल्मोरा है ना।